is Alhamdu Lillahi. So we've got the name of Allah here with the, well, in grammar there's a preposition which is li, which is the word for, joined to the word Allah, so they drop the Hamzatul Wasl and one of the lam, so we have Lillahi. So again, in this case, although it's not as obvious unless you've studied grammar, you have a lam with kasra joined onto the name of Allah. They've dropped the Hamzatul Wasl and the lam, i.e. the definite article has been dropped altogether. So you have Lillahi. So effectively this is the name of Allah with the sound of kasra before it. So again, this will be tafkhim. Pronounce it with a la, as in the name, as in the word lam in English. So again, Bismillahi, Alhamdu Lillahi. You cannot say Lillahi. That's wrong. The other case then, we'll take again surah that most Muslims will know. So here we have Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Okay, so before the name of Allah we have the waw with the fatha, so that makes the lam of Allah go tafkhim, i.e. full mouth, giving the sound of la, as in the English word large. So we have Huwallahu. You cannot say Huwallahu. Okay. The next one is Allahu Samad. Again, read the Hamzatul Wasl as if it's got fatha, because we're not joining it in this case to the previous word. We're starting the sentence afresh. So we say Allahu. Again, the lam of Allah is tafkhim because we're reading it as if there's a fatha before it. And the last one is AllahHumma, and we all say this in a lot of our dua. And here they've written the alif with the fatha joining to the lam with shadda. So Allahumma is one of the other cases apart from the name of Allah where the lam is not pronounced normally as taraqiq. So you can't say Allahumma, you say Allahumma. Okay, so that's the other case. However, the word itself, it will always begin with the alif with fatha anyway, so it's always going to be tafkhim, Allahumma. The next thing to cover is the length of the voweled lam in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is always 2 lengths long even if the short alif is not written. So the first example we've got here is again Bismillahi, and on top of the lam of Allah we have the short alif, which indicates to us that it's going to be too long. That's why we normally say Bismillahi. You cannot say Bismillahi. It has to be too long, so Bismillahi. The second example, Alhamdu Lillahi. Now in this case they haven't written the short alif, but it will always be pronounced as if it has got the short alif, and it's normally because of the fonts in the print. They sometimes cannot get the short alif on top of a shadda and a fatha. So always remember the lam of Allah is always 2 lengths long. So in conclusion, we now know how to correctly pronounce the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the rules governing the pronunciations.